enjoying sensual pleasures like that. But in Dhamma, we have to control it. That means just like a swimming into the opposite side of the water.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you think it is symbolic, is it? Kind of more than, I mean, it's you know, you shouldn't take it literally, and it's symbolic. Yeah. So yeah. Um. Yeah. Do you what do you think, Vijay?
I too think that it's 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 giving the idea to the society that once you that means you can see that everything is going the other way around, that before becoming Lord Buddha, Prince Siddhartha practiced like in his life. He had all these luxurious life at one point, and the other side he was giving all the sufferings that I heard that no one can even think of how much he suffered. So even through that two extremes, he could not get what he was expecting. So at the end, it's like Bhante Vijayasiri explained, I think it's symbolic, giving the idea that you can lose whatever, but don't give up and let them go. And finally, you will end up with it's actually really different from what we are achieving in the physical world, but Dhamma path is different from achieving things. Like it's letting the things go, as I understood.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Any more thoughts, Alex? Any, any any comments?
I feel like a lot has already been said. So I don't know if I have anything of value to add to this other than I too think it's symbolic, and maybe striving is the wrong word for it, but I think maybe it also points towards, well, going upstream, going downstream. So this way of differential thinking, making, and that in the end it doesn't matter if it's upstream or downstream.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. No, that is, and I think basically it's symbolic in the sense that it indicates that one really have to find an alternative way of looking at things, and I think different. It's the average normal ways of thinking, what we call lokiya. Now remember, worldly, or like going with the flow, and thinking in the kind of normal stream, that that's worldly thinking. And I think that is what hit him. He just suddenly realized that all this exertion and all this trouble comes because our thinking pattern, and I think we, when we are caught up in the worldly affairs, for example, we just suddenly realize, oh, why am I worrying about this, and stuck in the normal, worldly, ordinary way of thinking. And I think it is symbolic in the, in that it says like, you got to really twist or turn the thinking pattern around in such a way that you are, it's not really completely, lose it, but just realize. And I think it's expressed in this sutta, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. He said, oh, I had never, seen, never heard, Hubbe ananussutesu dhammesu chakkun udapad. He said, oh, I just developed an eye to see of things that I had never seen before, never heard before. It's kind of, this eureka moment, yeah. So is that okay, Venerable Vijayasiri? You are smiling. Why are you smiling? You disagree, agree, or agree to disagree?
Agree, sir.
Okay, you have no choice. Yeah. Okay, great. No, it's I think this is this moment of realization that, I mean, we all have this kind of eureka, the light bulb moments, we suddenly realize, oh, we are looking in the wrong direction or wrong way. And, what if we think, differently? Yeah. So, last week we discussed about 4 noble truths. And, we pretty much kind of, spend the whole time discussing 4 noble truths. Yeah. And can somebody actually just remember what we discussed, or is it all just gone with the, with the stream? Have you become a stream enter? Yeah. Do you remember what we discussed? Any highlights? Yeah. Anybody want to give a, kind of a summary, brief summary to Micah, who, couldn't attend? Yeah. Who would like to do that? So let's see if you kind of hit the highlights. Yeah. Vijay. Yeah, would you like to do that?
Sure, Dr. Sunil. Yes, it is.
Sorry?
Thank you. Yes, you explained it nicely, and thank you so much for giving us the wisdom on that and sharing your wisdom.
You don't have to praise me. You don't have to praise me.
No, because I had some I think it's lack of understanding. So just to being grateful for that, let me give what I understood. So you explaining 4 noble truths, like first one, the noble truth of suffering. It should be understood, and that is having 3 kinds, as I remember, like dukkha dukkha, viparamrama dukkha, and sankhara dukkha. Dukkha dukkha means worldly, what we are experiencing day-to-day life, the suffering, and it may be having illnesses or losing something like that. And then viparinama dukkha means because of the changing over time, we suffer. Sometimes it, as I understood, is that because some people are changing, we are growing older, we are getting older, and we cannot do things like as we did in our young age, like that. That's viparinama dukkha. And then sankhara dukkha is suffering comes with 5 sense faculties. Because of, I think, lack of understanding or not understanding how they create, or all these 5 senses make us into a trap. Like we get into that trap, then we suffer because if we do not understand them correctly. So that is what I understood, the first noble truth. And then the second noble truth, the noble truth of cause of suffering. Cause is the craving, or we call tanha, which it should be eliminated. And the third one is, there also we have 3 kinds of craving, like kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha. Kama tanha means we are attached to the things, in worldly things. Vibhava tanha, as I understood, that we are not expecting to be in this world, but not to be in this world, but still we attach not to be in this world. And then kama tanha, bhava tanha, and vibhava tanha. Kama means you attach to the world. Bhava means you attach to want to be someone or like. And then vibhava tanha means you don't want to be, but still there is attachment, don't want to be. So
the
third one, that is we can understand it as the noble truth of cessation of suffering, cause and effect. Because of that craving, we are suffering, and that means, I think you explain it as bhave tappam.
The third one is Satchikatabba, isn't it?
Sorry, Satchikatabam. Sorry, realize. That should be realized. Third one, cessation of the cause of suffering. And then so the fourth one is the noble truth, that dukkha nirodhagamini patipadariya satcha. Path leading to that solution. You explained that it is 8 noble, 8-fold path that we can step onto to cessation of the suffering. That is the path. Sorry for any misunderstanding. That is what I understood.
No, don't worry. I think it's a good summary. That's a really good summary. Thank you. And one thing we actually, agreed upon was this 4 noble truths. It's just like the elephant's footprint can encompass all other footprints of animals. Yeah. So the 4 noble truths can really encompass or take in all the Buddhist teaching. So that's why, all Buddhist traditions subscribe to 4 noble truths. I don't know of any, Buddhist tradition who, do not subscribe to 4 noble truths. Do you? Do you know if any Buddhist tradition? I think we, that is kind of quite central to the Buddhist thought, isn't it? Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Noble Path. Yeah, and so how do you see the dependent origination in Four Noble Truths? Can you see that? Dependent origination in Four Noble Truths?
I think it's including first first noble truth, because it's explain how the dukkha origin, and after
Yeah.
that reverse how it should be.
Yes, exactly. So the first two is samudaya. Samudaya is arising. Samudaya. And the second two is nirodha, cessation, isn't it? So it's already paticca samuppada. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, this is the beauty of it. Like Four Noble Truths, really can and does encompass, the entire gamut of Buddhist teaching. There is nothing, falling out from that. Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Eightfold
So
path also divide into, no, sir?
Yeah. Sorry.
Eightfold path also divide into Sila Samadhi Panya, like that.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So yeah. So I mean, though they seem to be like, the Buddhists, if you really ask, what are the key or central tenets of Buddhist teaching, and you say Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Noble Path, dependent origination, three characteristics of existence. Yeah. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anything else? Karma and rebirth. Yeah, now those are the key tenets of Buddhism, and they all, in one way or the other, connected to the Four Noble Truths, isn't it? Yeah. So that's the interesting part. And with regard to the first noble truth, as Vijay correctly pointed out, we know suffering, and the Buddha actually challenges us. Buddha says, not really. Do you really? So that's why. So he says, now remember our chart. We had a nice chart. Let me see if I could. Okay. Was this the? No. No, that's not it. So we had a kind of a detailed chart. My pen got damaged, so I will have to. Oh, okay. Hold on.
I think 52 page.
Sorry.
52.
Page 52.
Right view, Lokuttara Samadhi, right? No?
Yeah. No, I wanted to show. I remember we had a Word document. No, that's right. Okay. So basically, let's start it all. So the dukkha, the fact that we really don't understand dukkha, and we all think we do. And the Buddha says, you don't understand, and that is the issue. So we think we do think we understand dukkha. Actually, dukkha is to be, to be understood. So, and what do you do with dukkha? You need to understand. Yeah. Yeah. So, and as Vijay said, we don't understand dukkha. We understand two aspects of dukkha. That is called dukkha and viparinama. Dukkha. So these two aspects we do understand, but as long as we, don't understand the third one, which is sankhara. Sankhara dukkha. In other words, how dukkha is formed. We don't understand dukkha until we understand the third level. We don't understand the first two either. And that's why our response to the first two is, when you have a suffering, you want to get rid of it. We always look, to remove it. Yeah. And the Buddha never says, it should be removed. Dukkha should be, understood rather than removed. Yeah. Do you get that point? Sort of.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. So, and I mean, there's a statement made by the Buddha. The Buddha says, it is actually not understanding suffering that we actually get wrapped in it, fall into it. So only the one who understands the sankhara dukkha will understand the other two, not the other way around. Just because you understand dukkha, that is ordinary suffering. Yeah, dukkha is kind of ordinary suffering. Yeah. So what's ordinary suffering? Like, birth, decay, disease, death, all of those, yeah, jati, jara, vyadi, and so on. So viparinama is the change. Change also, not all the time, but change most of the time brings us suffering. Yeah, we don't want, things to change that much, especially the good things. If it's bad things, we don't mind. Yeah. So sankhara dukkha, and that's the key aspect of it. And this is why the Buddha says, one has to really realize or understood. One has to understand the sankhara dukkha in order for somebody to know the other two levels. Yeah? Yeah. And, the second one is the origin of suffering, the cause of suffering needs to be eliminated. That's also through understanding, you eliminate it, not necessarily, escaping from it. Yeah. So, and with regard to the third noble truth, I think each noble truth is kind of unique in different ways. The first, the second, and this is why we call it the noble truth. What's noble about suffering? So we discuss all of that. Yeah. Any questions about Four Noble Truths, or have you fully comprehended or understood? And if you do, the Buddha guarantees the stream entry for you. Yeah, whether you get the certificate from me or not, you will you are sort of through. Yeah. Any questions? My God.
Yeah, I think I have a question. I'm thinking about how to formulate a question. When I hear about the Four Noble Truths, I always get a little bit confused as to how this is explained in Mahayana Buddhism, because then it's all about enlightenment for everybody. It's not a personal path or something.
Yeah.
And when I hear about this, I always sort of hear the personal path, something that I have to do or I have to strive for. So I'm wondering what your perspective on this is.
Good question. Really good one. Yeah. I mean, I read it in a slightly different way than many people do. So, yeah. So, I mean, in Mahayana Buddhism, I mean, you sacrifice your kind of enlightenment or salvation for the others. So and I think it's a different way of transcending, and I think the deep root is the anatma, like a because when it is individualized, that's how all this suffering really comes into being. Yeah. So when you actually transcend that, at the deepest level. No, I think we will be reading a sutta called Anatta Lakkana Sutta, like the second sutta, and then when you really read that, you understand that the whole mass of suffering is due to this ignorance, and I think for the in the Mahayana context, you are transcending that individual and that individual self. So that's a transformation already. Yeah. So I mean, even in the Theravada context, that understanding is already, already built into it, because when the Buddha says you don't understand suffering, that means you don't understand this concept of anatta. Yeah. And that's why I mean, this happens to us all the time. Sometimes we are stuck in a problem because we don't know how to transcend it, crack it. Yeah. So I think that's how I understand it. Like this at the deepest level, this concept of I, my, mine, is the one which really brings all of this, suffering. And then, when somebody actually dissolves that, and that person is actually just transcended, gone beyond that mass of suffering. Yeah. Does that make any sense? Yeah. So, and I think that's how I think when I read Nagarjuna, it becomes really glaringly clear. I don't find any contradiction between Theravada and Mahayana, because they are all, on overt level, where these worldly thinking pattern, but I think the the dharmic thought that is developed by Nagarjuna is same as what was actually discussed in the in one of the sutras called Kachanagota. I think Nagarjuna was writing a commentary to Kachanagota Sutta, so it is no different whatsoever. So it is I read Nagarjuna very the Pali, in a Pali canonical tradition, it fits perfectly well. Yeah. So anyway, does that answer your question? No? Yes?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
That helps.
Yeah, you don't have to be polite if you just say, if it doesn't, just simply say, no, it doesn't. So
No, it really helps, because it's the link to Anatna is for me the key. So that helps a lot. Yes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So it's there are, if all this suffering is linked to the atta, this idea of self, soul, and then when you say I am actually giving up myself for the benefit of all sentient being, so simply you just transcend, and you are going beyond this individualized thinking. Yeah. Okay, great. Any more questions? I just survived that question. So any more? Yeah, Alex.
No, I don't have a question. It's just
Okay.
I was just wondering, because what we just talked about, maybe to add that this entire concept of shunyata is very intrinsically interwoven with the Four Noble Truths in in Mahayana, Pure Land, for instance, that transcendence for the sake of others, for the freedom of others, the thing, very important thing, but I think it has a very close connection to the Four Noble Truths, because it requires the insight into that all things are empty of intrinsic existence. So in that way, it is very closely connected and to the Four Noble Truths, and therefore the Four Noble Truths still have a major role also in Mahayana Buddhism.
Exactly. Yeah, that's quite yeah. But the one problem is, like, most people have this problem of, like, say, emptiness and anatta, like they do seem to be like two different theories, or two different concepts. Yeah. So I'll tell you a really good example. There's somebody who wrote a book called Buddhayana. His title of his book is Buddhayana. This was a gentleman who taught Buddhism at the Buddhist Society in central London. There's a place called the Buddhist Society in Eccleston Square. So they call themselves like non-sectarian. So they have Theravada classes, they have Mahayana, Zen meditation. I mean, I think it's mainly the Zen teacher who set up. I mean, you have heard somebody called Christmas Humphreys. Christmas Humphrey was a High Court judge who set up the Buddhist Society. There are classes like Theravada classes, Mahayana classes, Zen meditation, Tibetan, and all brands, yeah. And one day this gentleman was there in the kitchen, in the basement there is a kitchen, and he was while he was making a cup of tea, a Zen or Mahayana nun actually came out of a class, and this gentleman was asking, "What were you teaching?" And this Zen nun, she said, "I was teaching emptiness." Yeah. And then she was asking, "What are you going to teach?" The Theravada class. And he says, "I'm going to teach anatta." Yeah, anatta. And he says, I mean, pretty much, I mean, they sound like two different titles, two different topics, but exact same thing, isn't it? Exact same thing, but you don't necessarily see that. And I think this is the problem with terminology and language. Language tends to kind of delude us. Yeah. So that's why I'm no longer a linguist. I'm a Dhamma teacher. Okay. I started off as a linguist, and now I'm Dhamma teacher. Okay. So the Buddha says, I use the language as a tool, but I never actually stuck in the language. Yeah. Okay. Tathagato voharati aparamasa. It says Tathagato voharati aparamasa. I use the language, but I am never, attached to it. Yeah. So let me write that down. That's a really good statement. Tathagato Voharati Aparamasa. So basically what it means, Tathagata, uses the language unattached. So this is exactly how the Buddha, discuss language in the Pali canon. Okay. So now let's today, and I think if you really there's kind of a lineup of sutras that we are going to discuss and unfold these Four Noble Truths. Eightfold Noble Path and the dependent origination, anatta, dukkha, anicca, all of these, and so let's have a look at the sutta itself. Do you remember our notes? We have actually plenty of different versions of it, but Buddha in the Pali canon. Okay, we have actually different versions, but any of these versions would actually, Dhammacakka. So Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, it's all Four Noble Truths and how how he discovered it. So his discovery is kind of declared, but at the end of the first sermon, only 1 out of 5 ascetics understood it. So what do you do when that happens? He says now this particular stage, Anyasi vata bho kondanyo, only the kondanya came to realize it. Anyasi vata bho kondanyo ti. Isita ayasmato kondanyas. Anya, anyas, kondanyoti. Now he was known as Anya. Anya means, realized one. So when you have 5 ascetics, only 1 actually understood the message, and he has to do a lot more work with the other 4. It's like my class here. I have only 5 students, and only 1 of you realize, and then I got I got to work very hard on the other 4. So what did the Buddha do? What did he do? He actually taught a second sutta. And this is called Anatta Lakkana Sutta. Okay. Okay. So let's actually now, I mean, Anatta Lakkana Sutta, which actually really pretty much covers these three characteristics of existence. Yeah. Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. Now, now this is again groundbreaking discovery by the Buddha. Yeah. So and let's actually have a have a look at the sutta itself. I had actually a little different version here. Let's see if I could get my hands on it. Okay, now okay. Shall we just for fun read some sections of Anatta Lakkana Sutta, the second sermon of the Buddha? Let's take some turn, each person read some parts of it. Shall we do that? Okay, who wants to go first?
Evam me sutang ekan samayam bhagava Varanasiyam
Yeah.
virati sipattane Mrigadaya tatravo bhagava Panchavakye bhikkhu amantesi.
Now, this is, the first section is very much like any other sutta, evam me sutam, thus have I heard, ekang samayang bhagava, the Blessed One in one time, Varanasiyang viharati, living in the Varanasi, Isipatane, Migadaye, the deer park, Visipatana, Tatrako Bhagava Panchavagye Bhikkhu Amantesi. These 5 ascetics, he addressed these 5 ascetics. How did he address the ascetics? Bhikkhavo, monks, he addressed. Now this is addressive case, okay? Bhadante, yeah. Would you read a little bit more, Bhante?
Yeah, bhikkhavoti padanteti te bhikkhu bhagavato pattasosum bhagava etadovacha.
Yeah. So they replied as Bhadante, so Venerable Sir. And then Bhagavaya Tadavocha, the Blessed One said thus. Yeah? And okay, now this is the crucial part. Now pay a little bit more attention. And usually at this point, the Buddha also says, listen very carefully, tangs sunatha, listen very carefully. Sadhukang manasi karotha, reflect deeply, something like that. Okay. So what was the Buddha saying now? Who wants to read the next part?
Rupam bhikkhave anatta. Rupancha hitam bhikkhave atta apavisa. Nayidam rupan abadaya samveteya lapeta charupe.
Okay, great. Yeah. Now he makes a statement. He says, Rupang bhikkhave anatta, full stop. Yeah. O monks, Rupa is anatta. Rupa equals anatta. Rupa is Rupa anatta. So usually what happens is we say Rupa is anatta. So remember we discussed this before. If you just say okay, if you just say this, let's clear this. Rupam anatta. Now that's the statement. How do we translate this? We usually translate this. Form is non-self. Yeah. So, okay. Can somebody actually tell me the problem with this translation?
When you say form is,
Yeah, that's right. I mean, now here there's only one statement, Rupa anatta. Rupa, I mean, you just simply say Rupa equals anatta. Whereas in this translation, you have actually two sentences. Form is, non, and it is, this is already understood. It is non self. Yeah, do you see what I mean? You could just simply say,
Yes.
yeah, there's a form, and that is non-self. Yeah. And that's problematic. It's like, basically you are subscribing to, to the existence of form. And they say that existence of form is non-self. Do you get my point? Yeah? Yeah, I mean, that's not what the Buddha says. The Buddha says, Rupang anatta. Form, non-self. Yeah? So, this is, that's the problem with the translation. So therefore, we need to actually find a better translation. Yeah, but it's not easy. It's not easy to translate. I know. Rupam bhikkhave anatta. Rupam bhikkhave anatta. Rupancha hidam bhikkhave atta abhavissa. If the rupa were to be self, if the rupa were to be self, naidang rupang abadaya samvatteya. If the rupa were to be self, it will not, na idang, not this, rupang abadaya. 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 Any thoughts? Any guesses?
Illness or affliction, right?
Yeah, affliction. Yeah. Abad, illness or affliction. Any type of, affliction. It will not be, it will not become ill, because you can really control. If it is atta, self, you know what to do with it, but it doesn't, it doesn't behave the way you want it to. So, we call it fall ill. We fall ill. Yeah. We are afflicted by it. And so it is the nature of the rupa to be so. Samvatteya. Labheta cha rupe. Labheta cha rupe. Evang me rupang hotu. Evang me rupang ma hositi. Yeah. So one cannot wish. One cannot wish. One cannot wish this form, should remain like this. Evang me rupang ahositi, in the past, this is how it was, and this is, I want this to be this way now. Yasmachako bhikkhave rupang anatta, tasma rupang abadaya samvattati. So the rupa fall ill and, become afflicted by it because it is anatta. And that's one characteristic of anatta. Yeah. Nacha labhati rupe evang me rupang hotu. Evang me rupang ma ahositi. Yeah? Okay. Now, I want you to reflect on the word rupa. Rupa. Okay. What's rupa?
Upatiti rupo.
Yes. So, yeah, rupa, basically, this is, the form. Yeah. So the definition is of rupa is its very nature is not what we think it is. Yeah. What is it made of? What's the form made of? Made up of? Now, how many rupas are there? Huh? Yeah, 5. Rupa, Sad. Rupa, Gandha. Rupa, Rasa. Rupa, Pothabha. Rupa, Dhamma. Rupa. Okay, so there are many type of rupas, isn't it? If the rupa is processed through the eye, it's the rupa. If the rupa is, processed through the ear, it's saddha rupa. If the rupa is processed through the nose, then it is gandha rupa. If the rupa is processed through the tongue, and then it is rasa rupa. And if the rupa is, processed through the body, it's pothabha rupa. If the rupa is processed through the mind, then it is, it's dhamma rupa. Yeah. So now all these are different forms of rupa. What you see through the eye, hear, smell, taste, touch, or, or the mind, mental object. Yeah. So the rupas are of all these different types. Now, but usually we say, we think that the rupa is only what we see. Form, physical form. Yeah. But they could actually come in all sense doors, right? The nature of it is, the definition of rupa is rupati. Rupati. That's the normal word, rupati. It's kind of, how do you translate rupati? What's a good translation of rupati?
Decay.
Huh?
Dirana.
No. Decay. No. I mean that's how the normal, average people think it is kind of the rupati is decay. But actual meaning of rupati is slightly different. Okay. Can someone actually give an example of rupati? Now, So, you know what I want? I want to sort of start writing, drawing. Oh, sorry. You know, whole thing went, and I can undo it. Okay. So, how do I draw something? Oh, here. Should I take this? Can you not draw something? So anyway, what I want to do is, like, when you start writing something, for example, you know, drawing something. Now, what do you think I'm going to draw here? Any guesses?
Changing something.
Sorry?
It's like changing something. Changing.
Changing. Yeah. Now, what do you think I'm going to do now? You still don't know what I'm going to do, right? What did I do?
Triangle.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, you could say
You've given it form.
Yeah, I gave you a form. Yeah, but you know, this you know, the steps are just manifestations. So, you know, like I think this is a good example of Rupati. Yeah. Rupati means, like, you know, it manifests, or it just sort of start manifesting something, manifest, or, you know, appearing as something. So it's our our eye can only capture capture when something actually is finalized like that. But, you know, until I started, actually, I mean, I completed this. I mean, let's call this letter A. Letter A, capital letter A, and that came only after I completed it. But until, I mean, even even at this point, you know, you didn't know what I was really doing. Sorry. Yeah. Do you I mean, even even when I just did that, you didn't know that I was going to whether I was going to draw a pyramid or a letter. Yeah. So now, now this is what our eye captures. Our eyes are just, you know, capable of capturing the end product, and it does not ever capture the process. You see, this letter, there was a process. So this actually what's happening with all sense faculties is manifesting this process, and then we form it immediately. Yeah, when I actually, even before I complete, you can make a guess, and that's what we do. Well, even before we see something, we have a name for it. We have a kind of an idea, as to what it's going to be. So this manifestation, rupati, the process, it's the process that's happening in the world, and we actually give it a form, whether it's auditory or visual or whatever. Do you follow me? No?
Yes.
No. Okay. So yeah, it's the rupa. Rupa is this end product. End product never exists. Yeah. So, but when the rupana, the process takes place, we just actually assign some value to it, and then we grasp it. Yeah. Oh, this is a house, and this is a man, this is a woman, this is that, and without really realizing that this thing is in a process. Yeah. Okay. Very good. So rupa, the Buddha says pena pindu pamang rupa, and so therefore, if you find any form anywhere in the world, then you are under an illusion and a delusion. Yeah. So now you can see how we all are deluded. Yeah, whether we like it or not. Avijja, all delusion, so the problem is it takes a lot of effort, lot of time for us to realize that we are deluded. Yeah. So Vijay never wants to admit to that. Yeah.
No, I admit that, Dr. Sunil.
Would you admit? Okay. Okay. Good for you. Very good. So, Pena Pindu Pamang Rupam, the Buddha says the form is, form likens or can be compared, likens to a form. Yeah. So Hena Pindu Pamang Rupa. Yeah. Hena Pindu Pamang Rupam. So the translation is form is like to FOAM form. So what's the characteristic of FOAM form? Have you seen FOAM form? Yeah. Now that form is under this manifestation, this Rupana process, and you can't really find an entity of any sort, can you? And Vedana Bubbulupamo, it says Vedana is the second one. Feelings, sensations are, likened to bubbles, yeah, bubbles. It's bubbles, yeah. Marichikupama sanya is, so it's really important to understand this. The 5 aggregates: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya. This is nasal, yeah. Samkhara, Vinyana.
Manoj Janavasa, WhatsApp audio.
Vinyana. Okay. Okay. Sorry. So now these are called, what are these called? What are these called?
5 aggregates.
5 aggregates, 5 khandas, like heaps, yeah. 5 khandas: Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Marichikupama, Sanya, perception is like mirage. Yeah, Sankhara, Kadalupamas. Yeah, Sankhara is like is likened to a banana trunk. Yeah. So you just peel it off, and you don't find any substance. So Vijnana. Now Mayupamancha Vijnana. Maya. Maya is kind of magician, magic, conjurer. Yeah. Magic. So 5 aggregates. Now this is what's discussed. This is what's discussed in the sutta, in the second sutta. No. Yeah. This is the Anatta Lakkana Sutta. Anatta Lakkana Sutta, second sutta. So when the Buddha says, Rupang bhikkhave anatta, Rupancha hidam bhikkhave atta, bhavisa naidang rupang abadaya samvatteya, ya labheta cha rupe, evam me rupang hod, evam me rupang ma ahositi. Yasmacha ko bhikkhave rupang anatta, tasma rupang abadaya samvattate. Nacha labbati rupe, evam me rupang hotu, evam me rupang mahos ahositi. So that's the problem with the rupa. And the second one is Vedana, feelings. Feelings, the nature of feelings is also the same. So could somebody read the second one? Or shall we take a short break before we do the Vedana? Yeah? Okay. Are you ready for that? For a short break?
Okay.
Yeah.
Short break,
Acha.
10 minutes.
Very good. Okay. Let's take a short break then. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Fundamentally, if something is impermanent, that should lead to suffering. Yeah. Yeah. So, but in the world, in the worldly realms, it's not always the case that every change or every, transformation lead to suffering. Yeah. Some do and some don't. So does that, does it, is it not like acting counter to the Buddhist teaching? Hasn't the Buddha got it wrong? No. Okay, how do you know? We can't ask him, can you tell the Buddha? Yeah. So, I mean, let's ask the question, what's anicca? Anicca. Yeah, anicca. Anicca. Some people pronounce it as anicca. No, anicca. Anicca. Now, most translate this as impermanent. Yeah. And some translate, I mean, what's your preference? Impermanence or inconstancy? Yeah. Some people have also translated as inconstancy. So what's your preference? Yeah, any Any preference? Impermanence? Or inconstancy? So, I mean, there is also an statement in the Tipitaka. If you understand impermanence, you understand suffering, you understand anatta. Yeah. So all what you really have to, do is to try to understand anicca, impermanence. So can you actually, be sure that you understand anicca? So Venerable Vijitasiri, do you understand anicca? Viji?
I have a question though, Dr. Sunil.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure.
In my understanding, I don't know whether correct or not, please help me. So it's like anicca, what I understood is Lord Buddha explained this not only the things existing, like you can see that sun, moon, all these things are there, but their differences do not make us feel or suffer. Like they change, but sometimes we don't feel that. But is it like we fabricate the things in our mind with all these 5 sensory faculties, what we get? We fabricate the things always, and we create. Then when that fabrication changes, like it's like changing not according to what we expect, then we suffer. Is that what you call anicca?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's. I think, yeah. It's. I mean. First thing is, I think the world doesn't understand anicca. If they do, they will not be suffering at all. Now, it's our not understanding anicca that leads us to suffering, right? So therefore, I mean, what is the right way to understand this anicca? But what you are saying is, sorry, yeah.
Sabbe sankhara anicca and sabbe dhamma anicca.
Sabbe dhamma anatta.
Icca means permanent. Anicca, the mean impermanent.
Yeah, I mean, what is impermanent? I mean, I think Vijay was referring to something like, in the world, we think things exist, but in actual fact, things exist to the extent that our faculties can grasp them. So beyond that, now say, for example, if you are visually impaired, your rupa is gone. Yeah. If you're listening, if there is any auditory impairment, and then your, Sabda Rupa is gone. Yeah. So like that, now just imagine in a world where, your all your senses, are not working. So and then can you actually think of something existing in the world? Something exists to the extent that you can capture it through your senses, isn't it? And that's why the Buddha says rupang anatta. Yeah. And also rupang aniccang. You can also say chakkhung aniccang. Yeah. Rupang anicca. Yeah. Saddha anicca, you can say. So you have to actually define anicca in a context where something exists and something doesn't exist. Neither subscribing to existence nor annihilation. So therefore, I mean, anicca is not what we think anicca is, isn't it? I mean, anicca can be understood in a very worldly sense, kind of lokiya, and but lokuttara, it's realization of impermanence is a lokuttara, like supramundane affair, not just simple, worldly affair. Yeah, I mean, there is one sutra called Anicca Sanya Sutta. In I think it is in either Sanyutta Nikaya or Anguttara Nikaya, I can't remember. Anicca Sanya Sutta. There the Buddha says, if you understand anicca, you understand everything. You understand the whole Buddha Dhammam. Yeah, simple understanding of anicca can be very enlightening. Yeah. So is it a big deal, to understand anicca? So okay. Yes, it is. It's a very big deal. Isn't it? Why is it a big deal?
Well, I would say because you have nothing to hold on to. It's completely.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
in life.
Exactly. I mean, I think it's when you simply focus on the fact that the world exists to the extent that we experience it through our sense faculties. So do you think that all sense faculties actually tell us the truth? Yeah. So Oh gosh, that's really crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So why are you relying on them then? Your sense faculties. Why you are still using your eye, ear, etc., etc. If they don't tell you the truth, do you want to believe a liar? Do you want to believe a liar? No. So and that's why the Buddha says Mayupamancha Vijnana. Maya means conjurer or magician. Yeah, Mayupamancha Vijnana. Consciousness is like a magician. Yeah, because your magician can never actually show you something real. He or she just shows you magic. So when you see the reality, the magic is over. No magic. Yeah. So, so how do we really understand what is the exact meaning of anicca then? So in this sutta, Buddha discusses it, and it's Vedana anatta. He just sort of says Rupang anatta, Vedana anatta, Sanya anatta, Sankhara anatta, Vijnanang anattanti. Yeah, all five aggregates are non-self, and therefore they also, if they are non-self, they are also impermanent as well. And they are also suffering. They lead to suffering. Yeah. So that interconnectedness, yadanichang tang dukkha, that which is impermanent leads to suffering. Yeah, yadanichang tang dukkhang, yan dukkhang tadanatta. That which is suffering is impermanent. I mean, anatta. So all these three are kind of three sides of the same prism, three facets of the same prism. Yeah. And then there's a statement in the Pali Canon. It says, if you understand anicca, that means it leads to, you are, hold on. Anicca means animitta. Yes. And dukkha dukkha, that's, suffering is up Panihita. And the third one, anatta, leads to that's non-self, is to sunyata. Sanskrit, sunyata. Sunyata. I mean, Pali one is sunyata. That's, complete emptiness. So, one who understands anicca ends up in animitta. So, what's animitta? Any idea? So, no sign. Yeah. Insignia. No sign. Apanihita is no base. Sunyata means sort of empty. Yeah. So Panimitta, Apanihita, and Sunyata. So now these are kind of three types of Nibbanas, three entry points to Nibbana. So one who understands anicca ends up in no sign. Yeah. Okay. So are you with me so far? No?
Could you maybe explain no sign a bit better what that
no
that
sign.
means?
Yeah.
I can't.
Animitta.
What that?
No sign. How do you explain no sign? That animitta is you cannot find any type of sign, signia in the world. So now this is actually anicca leads to the realization of no sign. So if somebody actually develops this perspective or this realization, and this is where the person ends up in no sign. That means person cannot find any object in the world at all. Yeah, no objects. No person, no individual, no nothing. So it's kind of completely empty. But why I mean what is the difference between no sign and emptiness?
Animittana jhayare. Buddha taught.
Yeah. Sorry?
Animittana jhayare.
Yeah, animittana
Another.
jhayare. Yeah.
One place Buddha say na nimittak gahi hoti.
Nanimittagahi.
Yeah, I forget the previous statement.
Exactly. Chakkhuna rupang diswa. Nanimittagahi.
Very good.
Nanu bhyanjanagahi. You know, by seeing an object through your eye, the person does not take any sign. That means, you know, if you get any sign, that means, I mean, that is, you know, obviously for the world purpose, you identify X, Y, Z. But existence of that, you know, if you really subscribe to the existence of something, or, you know, a person, thing, a place, object, whatever, and then, you know, you are subscribing to the existence. So nimitta is I mean the an is the opposite of nimitta, isn't it? Nimitta, now I mean, in the world, for us, always there is an object. We, you know, we deal with the objects, you know, whether living, you know, or non-living, or, you know, whatever, objects everywhere. That's kind of, you know, so Chakkhuna rupang diswa nimittagahi hoti. Anuvyanjanagahi hoti. So the Buddha says, ordinary worldling always perceives an object, and that is because they have this idea of permanence or existence, something that exists. Yeah. So if you find an object of a pin, you know, pin drop, as tiny as, you know, as that, then you are not seeing impermanence. Yeah. So in your mind, if you have something, you subscribe to some sort of a sign, then you're not seeing anicca, the Buddha says. So it's not seeing, or, you know, attaining the no sign, you know, realization, and then the one is actually freed from suffering. Yeah. So all suffering is related to our way of, perceiving the world in, terms of science and, whatever. So, yeah. So what do you think? What's your answer to my question? What's the difference between no sign and empty? Is it the one and the same thing, or different? If it is one and the same thing, why did the Buddha actually had two different words for it? So, while the Buddha says, Sabbe Sankhara Anicca, all conditioned formations are impermanent. all conditioned formations are impermanent. Sabbe dhamma anatta, you know, they are not just conditioned formations, all dhammas. So anicca applies to the conditioned formations, whereas anatta applies to even beyond that, isn't it? Yeah. Even the nibbana, it is unconditioned formation. It's without atma, non-self. Yeah, do you get that? Yes, very good. It's actually quite deep. Yeah. Yeah. So you know, realizing the let's actually read a little bit more. Sorry, I think we are sort of slowly getting into the last, 6 minutes. Okay, let's do something fun. Yeah, rather than talking about this hair splitting philosophies. Yeah. So let's do something really fun. What shall we do? Some chanting. Yeah, everybody has to do some little bit of chanting. Okay. So we start off with probably Alex.
What language should I chant in?
Whichever language you do it normally. What language do you do it in?
Chinese, usually.
Oh, that's fine with us, yes. You are a Pure Land, yeah?
Yes, and Chan.
Oh, good. Yeah, excellent. So let's do some Chinese chanting.
The Heart Sutra, the short version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Always good. Okay. Namo 莲池海会佛菩萨，南无莲池海会佛菩萨，南无莲池海会佛菩萨。波罗蜜多心经观自在菩萨，行深般若波罗蜜多时，照见我眼界空，度一切苦厄舍利子，此不异空，空不异色，此即是空，空即是色，受想行识亦复如是舍利子，此处法空相，不生不灭，不垢不净。不增不减，是故空中无色，无受想行识。我言那比萨僧尼无数曾常为诸法，我眼前乃至无一世界。无明亦无明尽，乃至不老死亦无老死尽，无苦集灭的无智亦无的。一无所得个菩提萨埵，一般若波罗蜜多故，今无怪无怪，无有恐怖愿地连掉梦想。究竟涅槃三世诸佛，一般若波罗蜜多故，得阿耨多罗三藐三菩提。不知般若波罗蜜多是大神咒，是大明咒，是无上咒，是无量咒，能除一切苦，真实不虚。不说般若波罗蜜多者，皆说昼夜揭谛，揭谛波罗，揭谛波罗僧，揭谛菩提。 Sapoha. Amitofa.
Oh, that's amazing, Alex. Wow. Did you did it in memory? Did you learn it by heart? Did you?
Yes, yes.
Wow. That's incredible. It'll take me 5 lifetimes to do the Chinese chanting. That's
I'm sure you
excellent.
can.
Well done. Huh?
Listening to all the knowledge you have about the Pali Canon, I think that would take me 100 lifetimes. So
No way. No. Yeah, it's beautiful. That's really lovely. Yeah, no, have heard it. Probably maybe Micah will be doing in Japanese, yeah? Is it Japanese? Yes. Do you want to do a part or a little bit some Japanese? That's really fun.
Yes, sure. I don't know how much I know by heart, but I can try.
Yeah.
Maka hanya amita shinyo kanji saibo sakyo yin hanya aramita yoken go on kai kudo isaiku yakushari shikifu ikukushu. I don't know. Something like
Well, that's great. Yeah, that sounds I mean,
we do it all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. It's excellent. Yeah, brilliant. I just sort of feel like really learning it by heart one day. It's so rhythmic and
in a group
beautiful.
it's easier because then I know it by heart, but then
Yeah,
you hear it, so that's
exactly. Yeah. Same in Pali chanting. If you do it in group, it makes it much easier. Yeah. Excellent. So Venerable Vijita Siri will have to do some chanting today.
Let's do a group chanting.
let's listen to a group chanting. Yeah. Because Venerable Dhammarathana is not really fit enough to chant.
Yeah.
So we are taking a little bit. Yeah. Okay, good.
Sabba papas akaranam kusalas upasampada sachita pariyo dabbanam etam buddhana sasanam kanti paramantapotitikkha Nibbānam paramam vadanti buddha nahi parupagati samanopan vihetayanto anupavado anupaghato Pati mukhecha sangvaru adhichittecha ayogo etam buddhana sasanam.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. Excellent. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, chanting, I mean, when it is the word Pali Pali word for chanting is sa, ja. That means ja means, Zen, Jan, Jan. All of this means meditation. Sa means collective. So collective meditation. It's a lovely way to meditate. Chanting is, isn't it? Yeah. So, Vijay, are you going to do some yourself?
Do it next time, please, Dr.
Sorry.
May I do it next time?
Okay. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's get Bhanthe Dhammarathana to do final blessing for all of us and finish the class for today.
Okay.
Yeah.
We will make a wish. May all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. Thank you for our Professor Sunil Kariyakarawana and our Bhanthe with Sri Hamdru and Mikey and Vijay and Alexan. All of you will make a wish. Good health, peaceful life. Pathavi bala sundari sabbang bodhi mandalang asankeyang marasenang jayo jayatu mangalang jayo muning das subodhi mule aho simaras parajayo hi Uggosayung deva gana pasanna etena satchena jayassu maihang etena satchena jayassu tuihang sadhu sadhu
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And so we won't be seeing you next Monday, but the Monday after. But I would like you to give you a little homework, if you don't mind. Okay. This class also has some homework, yeah? I'll be sending you these few questions, like 5 questions about something that we have done. So I will email those to you, and you can find some answers to those questions. Okay? Yeah, fantastic. All right, folks, take care. I'm going straight to bed now.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Dr. Sunil, and we all wish, I think, Venerable Dhammarathana Bhanthe very soon a recovery, and have a safe journey, Dr. Sunil.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
a lovely week ahead.
Take care. All the very best. Yeah. Cheers, folks. Yeah.
Best.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
Next